Yeah, go ahead and tell them I sent you down there, and they'll probably give you a good table. But do yourself a favor and get the dry aged beef and stay away from any of those steaks with the sauce on, because that just totally ruins it. It just messes it up. Oh, you rolling here? Okay. Hey, I'm Steve Monday from WirePlayers, and back again for a little bit of handicapping video analysis. Talk about what happened last weekend. We gave out 4 race picks. Hey, these are just our thoughts, or my thoughts rather, on how I'm playing it, and just kind of see how I see the race, and maybe give some people some ideas on how they want to play the race. Send me a note and let me know what you think, and we'll see. We can kind of learn from each other and see how we're doing. But anyway, my top pick in the Alan Lacombe handicap out there at Fairground won easily, just as I expected. Upper line, sat behind, ice mist, and just drew away in the stretch and took over. I'm particularly happy because on HRTV, Jeff Siegel, Forced Uproar was the even money favorite, and that was his best bet of the weekend. And that horse was third, well back, and so he's a handicapper I respect, and I'm kind of glad that my top pick blew his pick out of the water. Anyway, that was the highlights. And Hutchinson, my top pick, leave of absence, and Razzmatazz and the Exacta finished 1-2. The problem is they were 4th and 5th, so the pace meltdown didn't happen as I expected. And then the big race, which was the Fountain of Youth, to honor serve, was a little rusty. Went off at short odds anyway. Wasn't a good bet. Sold at was everything that some people thought he was, and just kind of dominated that race. And so he's probably going to go on to the Kentucky Derby if all goes well. He'll be in the race, and if you like him, you can bet him. I won't. Anyway, Dylan J is our very own contributor here at WirePlayers. Won last week's Soul System of Handicapping, and so he made an excellent play on the Fountain of Youth for a trifecta there. And so he picked the Gotham from Aqueduct as this week's community race. So I would listen to see what Dylan has to say on his picks. I know when I looked at the race, Toby's Corner is a horse that I loved in the Whirlaway and won it to almost 5-1, which I thought was a great bet. Now he's going to be much shorter odds, and now you got Stay Away coming in off the long layoff. Similar to what the Ton and the Serve was last week, Stay Away is going to be the favorite at short odds, but you got Pletcher, who trains a little differently than Bill Mott. I think Bill Mott's a little more conservative, and he didn't want to have his horse amped up. Is Trent Pletcher going to have Stay Away amped up? I don't know. If you like him, you're getting him at short odds. I like Toby's Corner, but this is a little bit of a tougher race than what he faced in the Whirlaway. I think he's going to win, but I wouldn't take short odds on him either, especially in the win pool. You can play the Exacta trifecta and try to catch somebody underneath. Horses I think are interesting is the 9, Dolly. This is a horse by Steve Asmussen who trains all over. You know, he's like dog shit. He's all over the place. So you'll see him at Golden Gate, Santa Anita down at the fairgrounds. There'll be Turfway Park, Aqueduct, you name wherever. He goes all over the place. So, but he wins. He's no stranger to the winner's circle. I mean, you're talking about a trainer winning 25% clip here. You've got Cornelio, who is pretty good on the inner at Aqueduct. And this is a horse that actually can stalk the pace. He's never been beyond 6 furlongs, but looks like he's got some ability. And so you might get a price for him. I don't know that he's going to win, but you might get a price for him underneath. Another horse, Norman Absjornum, if I'm saying that right. That's a weird name. Norman Absjornum. Absjornson. Norman Absjornson. The 8 horse. You know, whatever. The 8 horse. You've got Chris Grove training now. He's won a couple races at Penn Nat and at Parks Racing. You could say he's stepping up just a little bit in class here. But what I like is that he's 2 for 2 at a mile or more. And so now you've got a horse that really didn't do much of anything at 6 furlong or less, goes a mile, and he's undefeated. Now, lesser company, but I think maybe he could be a price horse you play underneath as well. So anyway, like I said, I'd see what other people have to say. Dylan in particular seems to do pretty well at Aqueduct. Yeah. So that's just my thoughts. The race that I love this weekend, a horse that I'm just going to hammer, is Casino Host. It's a maiden race on the turf. Actually kicks off a pick 5 in which 4 of the 5 races are on the turf at over a mile or more actually. And this is a maiden 3-year-old Casino Host is 7-2 on the morning line, and if you can get 7-2 on this horse come post time, I would pound that thing into submission. But I don't think you're going to get it. I think he's actually going to go off a lot shorter than that. And actually, he's 2 races that he's been in, he's coming second. He was the favorite both times. He's going to be the favorite this time. And if there's any room for pause, I'd say is that he's finished second as the favorite twice. But should lord over this field. And then I would put him on top, and I'm going to single him in my pick 5 ticket and go deep the rest of the ticket, because I think there's going to be a huge pick 5 here. A 50-cent pick 5 is going to pay $4 or $5 grand, and so I think it makes sense if you think you got a really good line on some of these horses. So really like Casino Host, and then I'm going to do the 4, 9, 10, and 12, and the 10 and 12 are going to be Casino Host is the 11, so the 10 and the 12 are going to be double-digit odds. Maybe catch with the 11. You got Pletcher's got a first-time starter here, number 9, Imhotep. Probably going to go off pretty low odds. And in Kentucky Rain, Beaumont Sormo combination, I think, has got a shot. But like I said, I like Casino Host a lot here. So let's hope all these other horses take a lot of money and we get a decent price on Casino Host. A Honey Fox later in the card is just a hell of a race. It's a bitch to handicap. And Derek Brown's got a little something on the WirePlayers blog about the Honey Fox. So I'm actually I took a look at that race. I like a couple other horses, a couple horses that he didn't mention. So it's going to be interesting to see who's right on that race. But there's a horse. Don't know. I mean, I'm going 6 or 7 deep. So if that tells you anything about how I see this race, I mean, I think just around midnight, as Derek mentioned, is going to be a price, and I think is fits with these in terms of a class perspective. Tripper AJ is kind of borderline for me. Same with Unbridled Essence. I think Never Retreat's interesting. But a horse I like is this Bay to Bay with Javier Castellano. This horse, I think, is 10-1 on the morning line. Hasn't seen the track. Geez, and over, since July of 10. So I've seen the track in 7 months. And so, but really ran well. I think this is a horse that could surprise. And definitely going to be in a pick 5 for me. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I think that's really the race that's going to trip some people up. And I think the other 2 races, the race after it and the race before, are no picnic either. So I think that's going to be a tough pick 5. So you may want to go deep. That's what I'm going to do. Now, another good bet this weekend is the Kilroe, the Frank Kilroe Mile. The horse I love in this race is Sebastian Flight. And so now you've got, I think the 4th or 5th choice on the morning line, 8-1. You've got Fluke, you've got Cara Cortado, you've got Geronimo. They're all going to take a lot of action in this race. And so Sebastian Flight with Garrett Gomez, I think, is a good closer, but he needs a good trip. I think he's one of those horses that needs the trip, and I think Gomez can really get him in position. We'll play the 1 pool with Sebastian Flight in the Frank Kilroe Mile. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I wish everybody the best. Good luck this weekend.